Have you ever paused mid-holiday chaos and thought, wait, whose holiday is this? Maybe your partner's family tradition of going to midnight mass clashes with your own love for staying in and having cozy, warm movie nights. Or maybe you've realized that your children aren't seeing themselves reflected in what you're celebrating. What happens when the rituals that we inherited no longer reflect what we've become? Today, we're talking about how to create inclusive family traditions that feel like home for everyone. Hi there! If this is your first time here, welcome to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. I'm your host, Markella Kaplani, a psychologist, a parenthood and relationship coach, and a parent myself. Together, we explore the transformative journey of parenthood and its profound impact on our relationship with ourselves, our partners, and our children, so that we can be present and show up as we envision without having to do more. Let's get into today's episode. Research shows that meaningful family rituals improve marital satisfaction and even relieve early parenting stress. Yet many of us cling to traditions that were created for a different time for different people. In the next few minutes in this video, we will unpack why certain rituals feel like they exclude, how they confront our holiday biases, and how we can co-create traditions that honor everyone's background and shared values. I'll share personal stories, insights from the field of psychology, and simple steps that you can try this season. By the end, my hope is that you'll feel empowered to design celebrations that reduce stress, foster belonging, and strengthen your relationship. Welcome back to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. For those who are new, as you heard in the intro, I'm Markella Kaplani, a clinical and counseling psychologist, as well as a relationship and parenthood coach. Most importantly, I am a parent myself, and many of the things that I talk about are things that I have lived through as a personal experience. Growing up in several parts of the world and changing countries every once in a while, I have gotten to see what it's like to have your own culture's traditions, but then that clashing with that of your friends or partners because, well, they celebrate differently. And I feel lucky in the fact that my family was quite flexible in integrating certain things. But I can also understand how someone can feel quite confronted if their family traditions, what was the norm, the things that made them feel warm and fuzzy about the holidays inside, is not what their partner seems to do or feel like is appropriate. Finding our way around this can be messy and at times awkward. But it can also teach us that traditions aren't sacred relics. They're living, evolving expressions of who we are. That is why this topic matters to me and so many people I talk to, and therefore I'm excited to share it with you today. So let's begin by acknowledging the elephant in the room. Many holiday traditions center a narrow set of cultural narratives. In countries with a Christian majority, Christmas imagery dominates store windows and social media feeds. Other holidays like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Diwali, Eid, Lunar New Year, they barely register. Research shows that some holidays and cultures take center stage while others just seem to be ignored. For families who don't celebrate Christmas, this invisibility can be an annual reminder that their stories don't matter as much. Even within the same holiday, different ethnic or regional traditions get sidelined in favor of mainstream versions. When you or your partner feel excluded or misrepresented by the rituals that you share, it can lead into anxiety, sadness, or even resentment. And these emotions can easily spill into your relationship. Talking about inclusive traditions, then, isn't just about ticking off a diversity box. It's about intentionally designing rituals that honor everyone's backgrounds, where everyone feels respected and included in their differing beliefs, and they emphasize shared values like kindness and connection over everything else. This means recognizing that our childhood scripts about what holidays should look like may not match that of our partners, and they may not even match that of our children's own evolving identities. You will see this reflected in the story of Elena and Sam. Of course, the names are changed. Now, Elena grew up in a Mexican-American home where Las Posadas, a 9-day celebration leading up to Christmas, was at the heart of this season. The nightly processions, songs, and tamales brought family together. Sam, raised in a secular British household, had always viewed December as time to ski and exchange Secret Santa gifts. When they got together, Elena assumed that Sam would embrace Las Posadas, while Sam imagined that they would split the difference. Tamales on Christmas Eve, skiing the next day. Instead, they argued every single December. Sam felt overwhelmed by 9 nights of activities. He just wasn't used to that. Elena felt gutted when Sam suggested they skip a night for a winter getaway. They reached a breaking point when their 4-year-old asked, "Why doesn't Daddy sing the Posadas songs?" Elena realized that what she was craving wasn't the exact tradition per se, but the feeling of connection that those nights gave her. So together, they decided to create a new ritual. 3 nights of Las Posadas in their neighborhood, followed by a kindness night, where they baked cookies and delivered them to friends. Sam still went skiing with his family, but they scheduled it around their shared rituals. Over time, their kids grew excited about their own unique December, a blend of cultural celebration and kindness that honored both parents' histories. And full transparency, Elena admits that she still mourns the 9-day ritual that she loved, but she no longer feels like she has to choose between her past and her partnership. They've created something together. Now, another client couple of mine navigated interfaith differences. The man, who was of Hindu background, cherished Diwali. Anna, a non-religious Greek woman, treasured New Year's Day. Instead of letting their holidays compete, they anchored their December in shared values: generosity and light. They adopted a Festival of Lights dinner, where each family member lit a candle and shared something that they were grateful for. They also created a kindness calendar, with each day marked by a small act of generosity: writing thank you notes, donating clothes, checking in on an elderly neighbor. These rituals did not erase their individual celebrations. They simply created a bridge between them. Now, this couple reported feeling more connected and less stressed than when they were trying to juggle separate traditions and make it all fit so that everyone is happy. As you listen, think about your own rituals. When could have been a moment that you felt unseen or pressured to fit into someone else's holiday mold? Conversely, when have you felt truly embraced by a tradition? Hold these memories as we dig deeper into the matter. Rituals aren't just cute Instagram moments. They are powerful psychological anchors. Research shows that meaningful family rituals are correlated with marital satisfaction and can relieve early parenting stress. That is because they create predictability and rhythm, signaling that this is who we are and this is how we take care of each other. When those rituals authentically reflect our identity, they reinforce connection. When they don't, they erode it. Exclusion is then another piece of the puzzle. Holiday marketing and media often ignore minority celebrations. People from non-dominant cultures can feel attacked or misrepresented or anxious during the holiday season. Now, if that happens to be your partner, the holiday can be a painful reminder that their heritage is not as valued. Simply inviting them to join your rituals without making space for theirs can therefore reinforce power imbalances. Our biases and scripts about holidays run deep. What do you believe to be true about different holidays? Whose traditions could you have unconsciously centered? How comfortable are you celebrating holidays that differ from your own? unexamined assumptions, as we have seen, can cause friction in relationships. When this topic comes up, I often ask couples to trace their holiday scripts back into childhood. Some discover that they're clinging to rituals not because they love them, but because they fear disappointing their elders or letting go of their sense of belonging, betraying their own family. There's also a family systems dynamic at play. Families sometimes use rituals to enforce control or signal loyalty. If you don't attend grandma's annual brunch, you're disrespecting her. That kind of pressure can create resentment, especially when partners come from families with different expectations. Recognizing these power dynamics helps couples co-create traditions based on mutual respect rather than obligation. So how do we move from inherited rituals to inclusive and stress-reducing traditions? Let's break it down into some actionable steps. 1. Reflect on your biases. Set aside time, perhaps during a quiet walk or during a journal session, to ask yourself, what do you believe about different holidays? Whose traditions do you assume to be normal? Where do those beliefs come from? Awareness is the first step to change. 2, learn each other's traditions. Have a conversation with your partner and extended family about what they loved most growing up. If you have children, ask them what stands out to them. You can even send a simple survey to your relatives. Yeah, I'm suggesting Google form, with questions like, what songs, foods, or rituals make the holiday feel special? Connecting with families individually and inviting them to share stories, songs, or cooking lessons can be a great idea and way of connection. The more you know, the more intentional you can be. And this applies even if you're in the same religion with your partner, even if you're not in a marginalized group. Just because you share the same culture and the same religion doesn't mean that you necessarily, as a family, followed the same traditions or gave emphasis to the same things. So don't skip this part if that's the case for you. 3, focus on shared values. Instead of trying to cram every tradition into 1 month, anchor your celebrations on universal themes like kindness, gratitude, and community. Follow that idea from the couple that I talked about, the kindness calendar, where each family member chooses an act of generosity, delivering cookies, donating books, calling a friend. These shared actions build unity and teach us and our children that holidays are about giving, not just receiving. 4, design a celebration wall. Visual cues matter. Consider creating a celebration wall in your home where each family member contributes photos, drawings, or artifacts from the traditions that matter to them, that make a difference, that make them feel warm inside. This collage becomes a tangible reminder that your family is a mosaic of stories. 5, use play-based traditions. If you have kids, or you're a kid at heart, introduce multicultural stories, music, and crafts. Or read books that spotlight different festivals, listen to songs around the world. These playful activities can open conversations about culture, foster curiosity, and even help you decide on things that you want to incorporate from now on in your own holidays. 6, be flexible and inclusive. Not everyone loves the holidays. Some friends or family may opt out due to past trauma or personal beliefs or not feeling too well. Respecting those choices matters. Avoid forcing participation. In your home, this might look like planning a winter nature walk for those who prefer quiet reflection. Or it might be hosting a gratitude dinner instead of having a traditional gift exchange. 7, the obvious that we are talking about throughout the entire episode, create rituals together. Don't be afraid to invent something that feels right for your family. Maybe you host an annual Festival of Lights dinner where everyone lights this candle and shares a wish. Perhaps you start a tradition where you volunteer at a soup kitchen on New Year's Eve. Rituals are living practices. They can evolve as your family grows. Number 8, as said in the previous episode, I want to stress again that you want to talk about your traditions and the tasks that are involved as early as possible and divide the labor. Holiday stress often comes from unspoken expectations and from having too many things to do. Sit down with your partner well before the season starts to discuss which events you'll attend, what gifts you'll buy, what's the budget, and who will handle which tasks. Use a tool like the Fair Play method to divide the mental load equitably, assigning the planning, the execution, and the follow-through for each holiday responsibility to one person. This prevents having just one person carry everything silently, from shopping to meal planning to coordinating with relatives. Decide what you'll decline and stick to it. Boundaries are acts of love, not just for ourselves, but toward others as well. And this is where my worksheet on the mental load and dividing labor equitably can help. So make sure you head to markelakaplani.com/resources to get it. Okay, so now you may be wondering, why go through all this effort? And the answer is simple. Because inclusive traditions foster belonging, empathy, and resilience in both us and in our children. Children's sense of identity is deeply tied to family traditions. When they see that their heritage and that of their loved ones is honored, they develop strong identity and self-esteem. They learn that difference isn't something to hide, but something to celebrate. For couples, co-created rituals can strengthen their partnership. Research findings show us that meaningful rituals correlate with marital satisfaction and they relieve parenting stress. I said it before, I'm saying it again because it's that important. When you and your partner collaborate on a ritual, you are practicing communication, negotiation, and mutual respect. You're saying our relationship matters more than rigidly following a script. On a personal level, shifting from a performance mindset to a curiosity mindset allows you to be present and to connect with yourself. When you let go of the need to replicate some Instagram version of the holidays or that of your parents, you allow yourself to experience joy in unscripted moments. You reduce stress by aligning your celebrations with your values and with your capacity. In the process, you also model to your children that traditions are meaningful because of the people and because of the intentions behind them, not because of the perfect decorations or the number of events attended. Putting this all together, let's just say that inclusive family traditions aren't about having some multicultural holiday display or learning everyone's cultural customs. I hope that's not what you gained from this. They are about self-reflection, open communication, and creativity. So this week, I invite you to choose one step to bring this into your home. Maybe you ask your partner what holiday song makes them feel nostalgic. Maybe you start a family kindness calendar. Or maybe you simply sit down with a cup of coffee and a journal reflecting on your biases. Let me know what you try in the comments below. Or you can tag me on social media or send me a message at markella.kaplani on Instagram. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might be struggling to fit 2 or more sets of traditions into one household. And if you're craving more guidance, sign up to the Sunday Reconnect, my weekly email with one insight, one exclusive tool, and one 3-minute reset practice. It's like a mini holiday gift for your nervous system. Get it at markelakaplani.com/newsletter. Don't forget to join me next week where we tackle gift giving and the mental load. We're going to talk about how consumer culture, invisible labor, and love languages collide. And I promise it's not a rant about commercialism. Until then, remember, there is no right way to celebrate. You have the power to craft your own traditions that nourish your family's hearts. Thank you for listening and for being here. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.